what's nice about these is that I got a drainage kind of layer right here. So when I put the gravel in, the less gravel is going to go through these little grills. So if you can get a pot like that, I got these at Home Hardware. This was the last one they had of this size, and they had a bigger size with the same kind of thing. So that's where I'm going to put those big swamp grass plants. Okay, so now I'm going to take the fine gravel that I have at the store here, and I'm just going to throw it in here. But since I already got holes in here, I'm just going to put the plant in, put the gravel in, and then I'm going to take a hose and then rinse out as much of the dust as possible. This is the I really like this gravel size, and if you guys are going to get gravel, I don't know if you can see that, this is the gravel I would recommend. This is why I bring it in the store, because it's probably the most fine gravel, where it's like, you know, just one step away from being sand. So you could still gravel vac with it, but it's kind of got a lot of the benefits of the sand, and it's really natural looking as well. So now I'm going to put all this in here, get the plant in there, and I'll show you guys that. Okay, so this is the plant that I'm putting. Don't ask me what kind of plant it is. I just got it from a swamp at my camp, and I realized when I put it in the pond there wasn't enough gravel to keep it stable. So that's why I got this pot. I actually don't know how this is going to work out, but we'll give it a shot. Has put maybe just half of it in there, just so I can have a bit of a base. A little bit more. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do, I apologize, I don't have my tripod, and I could have given you guys an above angle, but in a storm, any old port will do, as they say. So I'm just gonna take some of this dead stuff off, and then I'm gonna make a bit of a base here so it can hold up. Like I said, I have no idea if this is gonna hold up, but we'll see what happens, because you guys can learn from my mistakes. Now I'm gonna let this go. It's probably gonna tilt over, which is fine. Actually, I might have to hold on to it. Let's do it this way. Okay, there we go. Okay. So, pretty stable so far. This thing is only about half full. So I'm gonna get the rest of it in there, and then I'll let you know how it holds. I'll give you an above view. Okay, so there you have it, guys. I filled it up, not even all the way to the top, but it's pretty stable, and I don't think it's going anywhere. So I have 3 more to do that are just sitting in the pond right now. So I'm gonna get working on those. Then once it's all done, I'm going to show you what it looks like. But first, I gotta rinse this out. Okay, so I got these, I'm gonna say cactus plants, because I think I can see it up there. So I got these plants that I got from my cottage in the pots now, so that worked out really well. What I actually did is I had these Amazon sword plants in here, but they were really melting back. And as they were melting, I guess the goldfish were chewing at them, so then I had the idea of switching them over to the pots, which I actually think looks nice. So I think that next year, and this is the thing, you try this and then next year it just gets better and better. So I think next year what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing, get some tall Amazon plants, but I'm going to make it so that the leaves are coming out of the water. That way the plants are getting the carbon from the atmosphere, and then the goldfish can't pick at them, but then they're also filtering the water at the same time. So these, for me personally, this just looks awesome, because when I'm walking at my trailer at my camp in the morning and I look at the swamps, I really take the time to look at all the plant life in the swamps, and I really enjoy seeing this. So bringing that over to my pond is really good for me. And what I think I'm gonna do is, when I take these goldfish inside for the winter time, I'm actually just gonna take these plants and put them back into the tank, just take everything out. So that's where that goes as far as the cactus plants. The ones back here I decided not to put in pots, because they kind of just stay stable with the wind in between these two plant pots. And all I did instead is that I just banked up a little bit more substrate right there, and it's the same idea there. Between the overflow and the plant pot, I've got some more substrate banked up in the corner there. So I am personally really happy with the way this turned out. let's talk about the plant pots here. So I got these off Amazon. They're hanging plant baskets. I drilled holes in the bottom. I put the bottom layer, I should have filmed all this, so I'll just tell you guys now. I put the bottom layer with lava rock as a stable point to keep everything down, and then I layered it on top with clay pellets. These plants as well, I got them at my camp in a swamp, and these are bog plants, so they're designed for the roots to be in the water, but then their leaves to be up on the surface. That is a double threat as far as filtration goes, because the plants get all the carbon from the atmosphere, so therefore they're going to be hungrier and they're going to grow more, and the roots get all of the nutrients that's in the water from the goldfish and the rosy reds, and at the same time it's going to filter the water and the goldfish can't touch the plants. So it's a perfect pond plant for that. Now you can do this with house plants too, peace lilies and stuff. I just thought it was a little bit fun for me to get dirty into the swamp with my rubber boots and shovel and pull these out, so I enjoyed that whole process. Now the final touch, I think, and then we'll go into filtration because I didn't get in depth with that with you guys. I'm going to put some cinder blocks right here, and it's just going to be a bit of a platform. So number one, it's going to allow the fish to swim in and out of the holes, give them a little bit more hiding space, which will be cool. Number two, I'm going to bring in some turtles from my reptile suppliers, and that'll be a basking area for them to go up on and for them to get some sun and then go back into the water. So hopefully, if all works out, I'm going to run things by my reptile people and see if this is a good setup for them, and then they can hang out with the fish. They might eat some of the rosy reds, but they're pretty fast, so I think they'll be able to get away no problem. So that's coming up next. Let's move on to the filtration here. So like I said, this is all pre-filter stuff. So every once in a while, which this is due for a good rinse, there's a pump in the corner down there, and then the pipe rolls all the way this way, goes into here, shoots down, and then I've got the filter floss here, and then on the bottom I have about 3 or 4 layers of port foam. Drains down to the bottom, goes to the bottom chamber. So I look at this as a pre-filter. I kind of feel like the Owazi sort of concept, but with a pond. And then it goes into this chamber here, where this is just filled with plastic scrubbies all the way from the bottom to the top. Now, this is a biomedia option that you guys can put in your filters that's very cheap. There's a ton of surface area for bacteria to grow. The reason that I chose this media for this personal project is because when I drain this, I want everything to be simple and easy to transition over to the winter months. So I want to be able to drain this out and then take all of this filtration, throw it inside of the pond, then put a piece of plywood on top, screw the piece of plywood down, then I'm good to go, right? So then for the winter time, this is all covered up. In the spring, I just pull everything back out, set it all up, get the pump going, boom, I'm ready to go, right? So that's how all of this works. And the pipe, like, because it drains down to there, it passes through all of the biomedia and goes out that way. The other reason that I didn't mention why I have the plastic scrubbies is because when I drain this and I lift it out, it doesn't weigh a ton. If I was to fill this up with lava rock, it'd be super heavy. You know, as I'm lifting it, it could crack it. This way it's nice and light, throw it in there and you're done. So my recommendation to you guys is when you're setting up a pond like this, okay, is to make it look beautiful, natural, but simple and easy to maintain. I don't change the water on this simply because I've got the water that falls off the top of the pergola here. And then when it overflows, it just goes through the overflow, goes through that pipe, and then goes into the grass garden that I have here. This is Miscanthus giganteus. If you guys want some of this, I got it at Laporte's Garden Center. Support local businesses. And this stuff grows like 12 feet high. So it's end of June right now. I cut this down in May, and pretty soon it's going to grow up to here, and it's going to cover that window to give me privacy from my neighbors. And I leave it in the winter. It's brown, so it looks cool as it's blowing in the wind in the winter. That's just a side note for that. So anyways, this is the basic setup, and I'm really loving it. The last point I'm going to make is, as you can see, my water is very, very crystal clear, and I get a lot of direct sun that shines right onto this. So number one tip for keeping very crystal clear water is to have as much biological filtration as possible. I have, I think, around 6 giant bags of the gravel here in the pond that I carry at the store, and then plus that took one entire bag of gravel. That took one entire bag of gravel. I also have biomedia there with the lava rocks and the clay pellets. And then I have all the biomedia that's in there with the sponges, and then all the biomedia in there with the plastic scrubbies. If you have a ton of biological filtration with the combination of some plants like this, you won't really, from my experience so far, have to worry about algae blooms, as long as your stocking levels are good. So I have about 12 goldfish here in a 250-gallon pond, but keep in mind, goldfish can get about a foot long with some rosy reds. So that's, you kind of keep the stocking levels to an appropriate amount based on your biological filtration, and then you don't have to worry about it. And the only thing you really have to do, look, oh, you guys didn't see that, but there's a bug that fell on the surface and this goldfish just devoured it. That's the first time I've seen that. That was cool. Maybe I got to give them some bugs. So yeah, that's the thing. So you can have crystal clear water. This is very, very low maintenance, guys. Like, I just come out here, scoop out the leaves that fall in, and I get the nets over there in the corner. I just net out any of those leaves. You can get a skimmer for that, but I enjoy coming out and doing it. And I come out here, feed the fish, and I sit in that chair and I enjoy it, and I love it. Sunny days, rainy days, doesn't matter. You won't know how cool this feels until you actually get started with it. And keep in mind, I've showed you guys a small pond inside. You guys can start with that. It doesn't have to be as extravagant with this, with the lattice and everything. But if you do make it to this level, it's something that you can look forward to every summer, and it's not a burden. It's very, very easy. So thanks for watching. It's always progressing. I'm always learning more. And as I get new things that come around, I'll update you guys with another shorter video, and hopefully I can get some turtles in here, which will add another really cool element to the ecosystem. Okay, keep tanking, guys. We'll see you in the next video.